Hey guys, Mr.Slasher here, and welcome to my channel. And as you can see from the title of this video, this is aimed towards my future writers. Now, when I say future writers, I mean like people who are in the phase where they're starting to write stories, but they're not quite past the concept phase, such as myself. Now, while I am not a professional writer, I can give you some pointers on what to do in a story and what not to do in a story. To start, how about we talk about a Mary Sue? Now, some people might already know what a Mary Sue is, so you can just skip ahead if you already know. But to those who don't know what a Mary Sue is, let me go ahead and tell you. A Mary Sue in a story is typically a character who is basically just perfect in every way. And as we all know, if there's a perfect person in the story, especially if it's the main character, it's gonna make a pretty boring story. Like, imagine Harry Potter if he was just the most powerful wizard and he didn't have any anger issues and he didn't have any past trauma and stuff like that. It'd make for a pretty boring story. So, to make that Mary Sue into less of a Mary Sue, how about let's give an example. This is Bob. Bob is perfect in every way. He's good at everything. Everyone loves him and adores him. And his story is only about 5 pages long. So how about we give Bob some conflict? Like, let's say Bob was bullied a lot. And Bob wasn't very good at sports. Not a whole lot of people understand Bob. You see, now there's some conflict in there. So that expands the story quite a little bit. I'm sure you can see what I'm getting at here. And because of that, how about we move on? Another thing you gotta focus on when making a story is what audience is it aimed at? Like, is it aimed for kids? Is it aimed for teens? Or is it aimed for adults? And there are also some different categories of stories as well. Now, I don't organize mine through genres or stuff like that. I organize mine with these. Stupid people doing stupid things, which is most cartoons. Serious people doing serious things, which is stuff like the MCU and stuff like that. Stupid people doing serious things, which is like the Pink Panther. And serious people doing stupid things, which would be Monty Python. And depending on which 4 of these it is, then that kind of determines your age group. For me, I normally do stories, serious people doing serious things. Another thing that could help you write a story is this saying that I always say to myself when writing. It's easy to make a story, but it's hard to make a story worth telling. And that saying has actually got me some pretty good projects that I'm working on, which I won't spoil right now because they're going to be pretty cool. Now, I can't tell you how to make a story good because there are lots of factors that could go into that story depending on what it is. Like, for one of my projects, it's about a sorcerer, and there's a lot of conflict in there that makes it good. But for others, it could be like a cartoon, and there could be a different kind of conflict. So I can't tell you how to make your story good. I can only give you suggestions on what to do and what not to do with it. Now, one thing that's really helped me with making stories is inspiration. Inspiration can come in many forms. Most of my projects are very inspired off of something. Most of my projects are inspired on stuff like Owl House and Lock and Key, stuff like that. But, you could go the extra mile and just try to make it yours. All I can say is inspiration helps, and it's really helped me along the way. In fact, I'm almost done with developing a project because of it. Now, but you also have to take into consideration that inspiration is different from copying. Because, there are games such as Garten Ban, which is a very clear ripoff of Poppy Playtime. Poppy Playtime might have ripped off Bending the Ink Machine, but that's a topic for another day. Now, whenever it's inspired off of something, it's different enough from the thing it's inspired by for it to be its own thing. Now, those words I just said aren't really mine. Those are from the amazing Dr. Sherman from Site 42. I recommend you go check him out. And he does kind of go into detail about this kind of stuff, which is also how I learned what I'm telling you. So the point is about this, gotta be careful when writing, because you could end up copying something, rather than it just being inspired by. Oh, hello, kitty. Hello. Alright, you wanna go? There you go. Here, I'll let you go. There you go. So this was just a short little video giving some advice to future writers and what they can do to help make their stories. And I'm really hoping this helped, and if it did, drop a like and maybe subscribe. I don't know. Anyway, peace.